So, welcome back to the Samurai Way podcast. And today we have returning with us Stephanie Vieira. And she has so much wisdom and has lived through so much. But the great thing is, she's come out on the other side, finding Ikigai, not the Venn diagram way, but finding Ikigai. And she's going to be sharing more with you. So, welcome back. And thank you for coming, Stephanie.
Thank you for having me back again.
And for those that don't know you, we've given you a short bio. Can you just give us a real short uh, succinct introduction about your journey, how you got from your childhood into talking about ikigai and gratitude.
So, I am a trauma survivor through domestic violence, through my family, strangers, and then through coaching abuse from the time I was 6 to the time I was 19. I am a survivor um, of an eating disorder. So there's a there was a lot going on in my early years. How I came out on the other side was a lot of work. And I approached my shadows. I learned mindfulness. Um, I took a good look at myself and I knew I just did not want to live with the way I was living anymore in my mind.
Mhm. And so
uh,
you talk a lot about small little steps, and please share with our audience about those small little steps from beginning, like almost like learning how to walk to become a functioning survivor.
yes. So, of course, we know gratitude or Ikigai is not about a career path or a Venn diagram, but it's about noticing small little joys through the day, through the week. And it starts small. And when you start small, you begin changing the pathways in your brain to start noticing more positive things. And that takes your brain out of always scanning for danger. So when you're a trauma survivor, you're always scanning for danger, what's wrong, anticipating what's going to happen, and being in a protective self,
Mhm.
um, because you're a survivalist, essentially. But gratitude broadens that attention, and micro noticing shifts that awareness. So you create a safe space for yourself, and your curiosity begins to return to finding happy things. Not necessarily happy things, but things that bring you joy.
Mm.
It could be the sunlight through your window, the first thing that you see when you wake up in the morning. It could be your cat purring beside you. It could be the warmth of your cup of coffee. It could be a slice of pizza that you're looking forward to at the end of the day. Because that when you expand on, you think of the pizza and you haven't had pizza in a while. And that's your ikigai for the day. That's going to make you happy. It's not profound. It's a philosophy and a feeling. It's the feeling that it creates within you. That's your ikigai.
Mhm.
And it
That's Go
helps
ahead.
you and it helps you identify essentially who you are. You get more in touch with yourself. You start learning more about yourself too when you give yourself time to pause.
Mhm. That's it, pausing and taking notice. And that's a lot about the samurai way, is that they didn't just dive into anything. They were very intentional, even like the tea ceremony, very intentional.
It only takes 10 to 15 seconds a day first thing in the morning. Once you get up, the first thing I do is I look, I scan in the room. And it could be, I'm grateful for my computer. Why? Because provides me with a connection to the world. It shows me different artwork that I could be interested in. It provides me with information. But when you're in trauma mode, you just start with the first thing, noticing. And as you begin noticing for about 2 weeks, then you move into your why. What feelings does this bring you? And then you're able to expand on. And once you begin a gratitude practice, you start noticing patterns and you start noticing your values. And that's why you do have to work on it. It's not instant gratification. Um, but gratitude is a practice, like Ikigai is a practice. And small little actions create your purpose.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. And even is may not be art, it could be an animal. There are so many pet lovers out there, and I think you're one of them.
Two cats. But I grew up with horses too, so I've always been around animals my entire life. And they were my comfort and joy, especially
Oh.
in my younger childhood years. I would always my my animals were my safety zone.
And I don't know if I shared with you. I used to work at the women's prison in where I live, and they had a program where if a woman had at least 5 years to go, she could become a trainer for dogs. And then they I don't know if they adopt them out or they sell them or what they do, but they would be with the prisoner for you know all the time for years. I don't
Mm,
know however long it took to train the animal, and then those would be adopted out or given. I'm not sure exactly what they did, but I love that program because it helped the women and it helped them, that human touch, whereas they
mm,
don't get that any other way.
Unconditional love,
Mm-hmm.
right? No judgment.
That's
Uh,
right.
yes, it's a safety zone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it slows down. It slows you down when you find something that you love, whether it's drawing or music, um, or creating. And I'm a right brain thinker, so I'm only thinking right brain. One of the listeners, some of them might be left brain thinkers, and it could be organizing a closet, right? Um, but it's whatever your ikigai is, whatever brings you joy, and that's why gratitude is the door, the entry into ikigai, because you're starting to notice what you love and you're coming back to yourself. um, and when life seems overwhelming, those and big practices seem impossible because everybody wants to jump in and be healed. And you have to do the work. So you start tiny and you start with small moments and one exhale and breath, just to calm yourself and just notice one observation, and then the momentum grows. So, for survivors, I tell them, when you're surviving, big practices seem impossible. So always start tiny.
Mm-hmm. Just like how children learn how to walk. You don't tell a baby they're starting to roll over and then they sit up and they stand up. You don't tell them, well, you fell down, just might as well forget it. You just patiently go with them for each step of the way because they're in the learning curve too. Their body they can't start off running when they're like 4 months old, right?
And that's your brain learning, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so with gratitude, you're shifting, your micro noticing, then you're macro noticing, and you're shifting the neural pathways. You're actually healing your brain when you start a small gratitude practice, because the small gratitude practice shifts the pathways in your brain
Mm-hmm.
to start noticing being positive instead of in survival mode and the negative.
Mm-hmm.
And you still both live alongside each other, but now it becomes more balanced. And you're not always scanning for danger now. And now I find myself always looking for something, um, throughout my day to be grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a cheesy thing, it's something I do, when I start to feel overwhelmed. In fact, I carry a list in my wallet of three things that I know I did that I'm good at. And whenever I begin to have self doubt, I whip out those three things, those three achievements to remind myself, you're okay. And that's part of my gratitude sometimes too, is I am grateful that I achieved and I have the confidence and I did these things. Okay. And I talk about that in my book too. You'll see that later on in there. But, you know, uh, gratitude grows with you as Ikigai grows with you.
Now, that's a good quote.
It helps you recognize yourself because we're always evolving, right? If
Hmm.
you are not evolving, check your pulse because you don't uh you need to keep your brain active
Hmm.
and growing,
Yeah.
right? And that noticing, always scanning and noticing, and hey, look at that. Oh, hey, over there. Then you find yourself starting. I found myself starting to help people in the grocery store, right? Because you're always scanning for things. Now I'm scanning for positive things. I'm not scanning for negativity. So, for instance, I see a lady that needs help reaching the cheese on the top shelf. Oh, can I help you? Um, your empathy grows, your ability to want to be part of your community grows. And
Hmm.
not in big monumental ways, right? But it's simple as just when you see somebody drop something, you feel confident enough to go and help them. You want to be a helper. And personally, I've always been a helper. But Ikigai leads you not in monumental ways, but a way to contribute to society. And that's by helping a neighbor,
Hmm.
um, helping yourself, being more positive, and being a light. Um, Again, you don't have to be a superstar to do it, but change starts small and change starts within yourself and change starts within your community.
That's true. It's taking those small steps. You don't arrive at becoming a superstar or a gratitude expert first day, right? It just takes small steps, like anything. Anything takes time. Be patient, be compassionate with yourself and others.
Especially yourself,
Yeah, okay.
especially yourself.
Uh-huh.
So when you start to notice something negative and you go back, your brain is starting to shift into, oh, what about this? Or I didn't do this today. And you start being down. Okay, let's shift it back into something you're grateful for right at
Yeah.
that moment.
Hmm.
You're going to
Instead
turn
of instead of ruminating about, right.
exactly. So you're not going to focus on that negative thing that happened earlier in the day or hyper focus on it. You're going to shift your brain immediately back to something that you notice. I'm looking forward to making my favorite dish tonight. Okay. Now we're shifting from the negative back into the present. And in the present moment, I am going to make my favorite gimbap, dish that I love, or my favorite ramen, or my favorite comfort food. Um, I'm a foodie. But you're going to focus on something to look forward to in
Yeah.
that moment.
Hmm.
I'm going to look forward to the iced tea that I'm drinking. Why? Because it's refreshing. And then you go into why? Oh, gosh, I love this iced tea. It's so refreshing. And the tartness of the lemon. Those are those micro noticing moments that shift your brain again.
And so, Stephanie, I'd like to have you share briefly about your book and how long it took and how it could help others.
Oh, sure. So my book, gosh, I started it July of last year and I finished it, I completed it in November. And it went through a process. And why I call it the art of gratitude is, as an artist, you start as if you're learning a language or practicing art. You have to start sketching. You start at the beginning, you start learning about colors. And then as you practice, your art becomes beautiful, just as you do. So you start working on yourself in small steps.
Mm-hmm.
You start gratitude in small steps. As your gratitude grows, it becomes a piece of art for yourself. That's how I tied that in together.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
There will be a link not instructions in the description about how to get a hold of Stephanie and how to purchase her book. So,
one thing I'd like to mention is the book is ADHD friendly. Um, and I included a journal within it rather than as a secondary,
mhm.
because ADHD people, unless it's right in front of you, you're not going to use it, right? So all the prompts are within the book. So it's also a journal too.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. And Stephanie, it's been wonderful having you here. And what final piece of advice you would like to give our audience? That would be great.
Oh, gratitude doesn't deny pain.
Oh, that's good. Hmm.
It creates tiny moments of safety. I can still be grateful and still want to change. And again, gratitude evolves just as your Ikigai evolves. They go hand in hand.
Hmm.
Yeah. So be kind to yourself, be gentle with yourself, forgive yourself, and uh, and look for beautiful things every day.
Yes, and I would just like to add, as you do that with yourself, be kind, gentle. It starts. It starts. It starts towards others too. It starts that journey of being a healer, being a noticer of people, being a helper, like you mentioned about yourself. So I hope this episode has been wonderful for anybody. You may not be that trauma that she went through. It could be like for me, it's been with the car accidents, and like that has been very traumatic. But I'm working through that, doing the podcast because this gives me so much joy. I love being the podcast host. I love speaking with the people that are going to be speakers. It is so much fun for me. I've never met anybody that's had the same journey. So that's going to be a wrap for today of this samurai, the Samurai Way podcast. And I'm so glad that all of you joined us. And so please be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with others as we continue on the Samurai Way. So I'll say mata ne, goodbye for now.